All right. And Cam, I think we're live. How you doing tonight, bro?
Man, living the dream or someone's nightmare. I'm having a good time. I got some sun today. You look like you're having sun right now. What are you doing over there?
Yeah, I soaked some vitamin D this afternoon, and for the first time this season, sweat like a pig.
That's okay. That's okay. And you're having a drink? I'll have a drink for that too. Hang on.
Yes, I like the prune juice.
It's cranberry and apple. Let's go.
All right, welcome back to the Patriot Sentinel. It's
Golly.
Cam and myself, and I'm Rarchar Tortorello, your host. Cam is my ever faithful good buddy and co-host. Carrie Rails is on special assignment tonight. She's taking care of some sick kids who are, according to the text she sent us, puking like crazy all over my face and in my hair. So, Carrie, I feel sorry for you tonight, but I don't really feel sorry for you tonight. But I do hope that the boys get better because, you know, it sucks to have puke in your hair. So, well, Cam, big news week. Big news week last week. I want to start with Kevin Stitt's appointments to fill the former Senator Markwayne Mullins' seat, the interim seat, with Alan Armstrong. I was rooting for Harold Hamm. I think overall he has the best experience, but I'm okay with Alan Armstrong. The only issue that a lot of folks have with Alan Armstrong is that he donated to crazy Adam Kissinger in Illinois. The Never Trumper dude, and the I want to prosecute everybody who's there in January 6th. I hate Donald Trump. I hate everything America. And he was crying at you know at a January 6th testimony. That boy. So, have you heard the controversy about Allen?
Not much, I'll be honest with you. The In politics, I don't know much about Allen. All I know is that he was a big energy CEO, and in his political portfolio, there's really not much to report about. So, don't know much. I want to say if he's just a an administrator, then he's going to go straight to the point. Kind of like no BS type deal. Let's go. I'm with you on this one. I think Harold, in my opinion, would have done a little bit better. I'm kind of curious how he's going to handle the media, uh, with Allen, uh, because I don't know anything about him. So I hope he does a good job. He has to represent the state of Oklahoma.
Well, so when I had proposed Harold Hamm fill that seat, he did call Stitt, or he did make a public statement saying that I want to be in the seat. And so, of course, a lot of people thought it was a great idea. They wrote stories, op-eds, and the pushback that I got from some Republicans in Oklahoma calling Harold Hamm a rhino because he donated to another fellow Republican running for governor, Getner Drummond. And so with Allen, the same person who criticized Harold Hamm on our story page, calling Hamm a rhino for donating to governor candidate Getner Drummond, fellow Republican, but he's silent on Alan Armstrong. Now, I'm not calling this person out, but the hypocrisy on our side when it comes to Republicans and who they chose to support and call patriots and conservatives, and those they label rhinos. Um, and then, my thing. Do you think it's fair that when it comes to wealthy people who own businesses here, they donate to everybody? Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, look, so with this, with the statement that was said about Harold Hamm for the opposition, calling him a rhino, all it created was again more separation, more fracture, and what kind of sponsorship are you gonna get? Are you gonna get any donations? Are you gonna help the Republican Party, the GOP? No. So this didn't help anybody. I'll be honest with you. I think this was just strategically a bad position. Sometimes less is more, and hopefully they learned the lesson on this one.
Well, the lesson is that this guy Allen, he's an energy guy. I'm okay with it. It's
Yeah.
the hypocrisy that we see on our side, and I I call it out because it's our side. We can call him out for it. All right. And I'm pretty sure that Alan Armstrong donated to people because that's what they do. But the reporters that have dug up stories and looked at his FBC filing um, said that he gave to Adam Kissinger right after January 6th, and allegedly when they convened the January 6th commission. So the timing was suspect. We're not sure how Allen is going to operate and how he's going to vote, but I heard through back channels that the visit last Sunday to Mar-a-Lago, which with Stitz and Trump and Alan Armstrong, went very well. And of course, Alan, like Harold Hamm, does donate to both sides of the aisle, and so we have to give him that. And Oklahoma's energy program, it's our number one industry besides the federal government. We need somebody up there to help navigate what's happening around the world, especially in Iran, with oil prices rising, uncertainty in the air, the Strait of Hormuz. Trump is not holding back. He says, "You guys, we need this to happen, and if you don't do this, we're going to bomb the shit out of you. All right, we're going to do more than what we've done." And I thought Harold Hamm would be the best person to navigate that. But obviously, being governor, it is your responsibility, his responsibility, and the wisdom to pick the best person to represent the state of Oklahoma and to represent the legacy of Mark Wayne Mullen. And so I do hope that he votes the way that Mark Wayne would have voted. The SAVE Act or Save America Act has not been passed. DHS and TSA need their funding reinstated. And
Hmm.
let's see how he operates in that seat. I mean, all we can do at this point here is just observe what he does. So, is that a fair statement?
Yeah. The one of my concern is that uh, I feel like as of lately, people have been trying to predict Governor State's moves, and he has been throwing a lot of curveballs. So again, I hope this is not something consistency, but if in the future, if he decides to run for anything big, this might be an indicator that we could also see uh, what he potentially maybe do whenever he gets to that next level. So, it's
All we
interesting.
all we can do is observe and see what happens after he leaves office and see if he does have aspirations for higher office. But the grassroots in Oklahoma and social media just killed the man. It was just awful to watch. And I want to be proud of our state, and I am proud of our governor. I'm proud of all our
Hmm.
federal delegation. I'm proud of the state legislature. But I think this will we'll see what happens with this move. If it turns out that Allen is a conservative and he votes conservatively, and he supports Donald Trump more importantly, and he represents the state of Oklahoma, um, then all is good. All can be forgiven. Um,
Yeah,
Mark Wayne
yeah,
Mullen,
no, and I was gonna say, if anything, this could be a a soft launch for his political world, and hopefully his political career that could be something that is going to be fruitful. So all we could do is just get behind this man for 9 months, and then find a place where he's going to grow. Best of
I
luck
think we ought to
at the end of the day.
give him a fair shot and let's support him like Oklahomans like we do.
Yep.
And the past is the past. Our guy didn't get selected. That's okay. It happens. And let's move forward. So next topic tonight: Mark Wayne Mullen as the new Secretary of Homeland Security. The story that we posted the other day, 24 hours, has gotten 1,000 shares, um,
Well,
almost nearly 5,000 comments, most of it good. But when good things happen to the state of Oklahoma with good good Republicans, why does that bring out the crazies in people? Why do they have to come and criticize the man? And he just day two of his role. All he wants to do, if you watch the press conference in the Oval Office the other day, I put a video up where he got up and said, basically, I don't care if you're a blue state or a red state, I'm going to protect everybody the same. So, how can you take something that positive? It is a positive statement and a strong statement. When he said failure is not an option, but why do some people on the left just take that and run with it and become crazy guys and post the most asinine statements and comments? And the guy's 2 days into his job. Why does good things happening to our state in our nation bring out the worst in people?
I was gonna say, look at the hairstyles. Look at the voting record. Do we need to talk about the level of Tylenol that they probably had when their parents were in, when they're in their belly? You know, this is where I hope people start seeing the what Mark is going to bring to the U.S. And he's not a nonsense guy. He's a guy that he's going to shoot you straight. He's going to talk to you on what's going to happen, and he's a good supporter. Yeah, the vote was 8-7 when he was getting confirmed. But I'll be honest with you, it's not like he steps down. Every single time he has a controversy or debate or something with a legislator that opposes him, he says it how it is. And majority of the time is the truth. And it hurts. And people who are Democrats because, they couldn't find somebody who stands up and says it how he sees it. So I'm excited for Mark. Hope this is just the beginning of many more achievements.
I would say, typically it's a man's behavior. I do it. I know you do it, and we're not going to sugarcoat anything. We're going to call you. We're going to call you out, and if it's a good thing, it's a good thing. If it's not, then that's the way it goes. Next thing, T.W. Shannon and the Trump endorsements. Um, so we wrote an op-ed. It's up there. It's been posted. Um, Gotten some traction, but a lot of people just aren't they're not, they're looking at this with a little skepticism. They have their favorite candidates. And with the Trump endorsement like this, I'm still here. We're having technical difficulties again. I'm still here, bro.
Where'd you go? All I see is black.
Still here.
There you go. You're back.
It happens.
Cleveland County's energy. Hey, this is where Alan needs to come in and fix the energy crisis at your place, bro. In Cleveland County. Come on. Let's start with that.
It happens. But, anyways, as I was saying, the Trump endorsement, T.W. Shannon, do you think this gave him a bump in the polls with undecided voters who were Trump supporters? Don't forget, Trump won Oklahoma 3 times, won all 77 counties. So, undecideds at this point here, do you think this gives him an advantage, or are people going to stay with their preferred candidate?
Ooh, I'll be honest with you. I think right now it's tough. I don't think a Trump endorsement is gonna do a huge thing uh, because uh, people are being affected. I'm not saying that he's doing a bad job, no, but there are people who are already running for lieutenant governor, and they have been working with these individuals, and TW just came kind of like from the behind. A very good strategic move, but I'll be honest with you. I don't think this is going to do too much of a move. I think if it increases, let's say the polls, it might be by 6%. I think he's going to have a runoff at the end of the day. I think so.
Well, obviously, with 4 people, actually 5, there will be a runoff. I think because of the Trump endorsement and because of his name, he'll be one. It just who will be the second person? Will it be Byrd or Darrell Weaver? and Daryl Weaver were both good candidates. They have they've done amazing for the state of Oklahoma and for the constituency. It all comes down to getting out the vote, and it comes down to those undecideds. If who can get out and sway the undecideds at this moment here. So a lot of folks on the story last night did say, hey, we're still going to stick with our girl or our guy, and Daryl Weaver, uh, Burr, and some thought this was a positive. They're voting for DW anyways here, but the Trump endorsement does go a long ways. But will it
Mhm.
affect the primary at the state? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. It's a good thing to get a Trump endorsement, but you have to go out and work for it. And so
Yeah.
when he looks typically at these endorsements, Cam, how much money have you raised, and what's your ground game like? And the two candidates right now who have raised a lot of money and been around the state, Daryl Weaver and Bird.
Hmm.
So I don't know. Maybe the endorsement was too soon. You think?
See, I think it's too soon, man. It's 2 weeks. It's 2 weeks. In my opinion, too early. I think if you're gonna do something like an endorsement, I think you're gonna do it closer towards June, so people go, "Oh, this is the guy." Right now, to me, it's gonna take. You got to remind the voter 4 weeks afterwards that Trump endorses individual. So it's got to be fresh, and I hope TW didn't plateau. Now we got to look at their level of expertise. Cindy Bird, she understands policy. She understands how to talk to the governor. She knows how to talk to the legislators and come in together on developing programs. Daryl Weaver, security. He understands how to work with the legislature, and he knows how to talk to the constituents and also the governor. TW, he has the overall, how to be a good politician, a stewardsman. He knows how to raise money, all this. So three good candidates that I think I don't think we're gonna lose. I'll be honest with you. I think this is a good time.
Um, Next question, next topic. State
Go
question
for it.
832. Yeah, so we got to talk about 832. That is, after beating 836, and the initiative failed themselves, which worked out for us. But 832, I think Oklahoma County GOP is taking the lead on this. There's an event on Saturday where we're gonna do what we did with 836 and create some social media reels about the dangers of 832. And for those that don't know, it is the minimum wage requirement to $15 per hour, and it has failed in every state where they raise the minimum wage. Now, I've never worked at the minimum wage before. A lot of folks who are entering the workforce either for the first time as students or divorcees um, start off at the bottom. But I hear from a lot of folks in Oklahoma who own businesses that they start their employees way above the current minimum wage. It's anywhere between like $20 to $25 an hour. So how dangerous is 832 if the voters go and vote this in, not realizing that if you mandate minimum wage, that they might lose their jobs?
Yeah. No, I think when you're looking at increasing minimum wage, you're looking at the large bulk of employees to either lose their jobs due to automation or just reduce. And this is where I will say it's going to be hard. 832 it's going to create a lot of scarcity and it's going to destroy small business. So if you're a small business owner and you're trying to survive the economy from Biden and what's going on right now with the war and everything, if this passes, it's going to get even worse. So we got to pay attention to this. Say no to 832. It's not a good deal for anybody.
But look at the implications. So, when was the last time you went to a Hardee's? And so they don't have a front desk person in most places, and you order from a kiosk. And I'm not sure what goes on in the back, but it's a horrible situation. So when I go into a fast food place, like McDonald's, for example, I don't want to talk to a kiosk. I want to talk to a real person and order from that
Yeah.
person. And so when they mandate the $15 minimum wage, we're going to see a lot of places, the fast food places, go more and more to a kiosk. I'm not sure if that's going to happen or not, because the places I like to eat, like Cane's or Chick fil A, will never go because their business model depends on that human interaction at the register. And Chick fil A does it and shows it, and they practice it very well because these guys are out there in the drive through taking your order, and that's a winning business model. Cane's,
Hmm.
um, I can't see them going to a kiosk, and I'm pretty sure they pay their people, above the minimum wage. I'm not sure, but most restaurants do now, anyways. I think this bill, I think this measure is a do nothing. It's something that the liberals can hang their hat on and say, "Look at me! Look at what we've done! We're helping out the middle class, the poor people." But in reality, they're getting paid. Most people getting paid way above the $15 per hour mark. And Tinker's hiring. You work at a Tinker. I mean, there are a lot of jobs out there that pay a hell of a lot more. And I just don't think that mandating a minimum wage is going to help the state of Oklahoma. And I don't know
Hmm.
why they refuse to look at every liberal state, most liberal states that have instituted the $15 minimum wage has failed. People have lost their jobs. Most places have gone to automation, and that sucks too as well. But do you think this is something for Oklahoma's liberals to hang their hat on by saying we're helping the poor people when they're really helping nobody? Because nobody, besides most restaurant workers, some fast food places, but most places that are hiring folks pay well above the $15 per hour voluntarily because they want the best people.
Yeah. No, look what happened in California. How many enterprises have left Oklahoma because of the fast food wage increase?
California, you mean?
Yeah, California, California. And when you look at that, this is, again, it looks bad. Oklahoma, golly, can you imagine if that happens to Oklahoma? We love our fast food. Like, golly, like we're gonna have a hard time already. And let's say they make it into automation. Who are you gonna complain to? Press here for a complaint, and then you're just gonna wait for a tone, and hopefully AI picks up.
You know, um, During COVID, that changed a lot of people's buying behaviors, their patterns, and we have the Uber, the Eats, and that all came out of COVID, and so people just changed what they did and how they procured goods and what they did and working out and so forth. Here, I think people are going to find a way to overcome this. All right, like I said, if you want to see the future, go to any Hardee's and you won't see somebody at the front desk. The majority of the time here, you're talking to a kiosk, and that's how it's going to be. And people are going to shift and take their money and go to upscale restaurants where they can actually talk to somebody and have that conversation. I just think it's a bad
Hmm.
idea, and I hope that the OCPA, our good friends, and the Oklahoma GOP run with this and persuade voters that it's going to be a disaster for the state of Oklahoma. And like you said, in California and other states that have implemented this, it's been a disaster in the workforce. And they want to write good bills and write good bills to help Oklahomans. We are energy producing state. Aviation is going to be the next industry. We need to find and attract good businesses. I'm tired of people bypassing Oklahoma and going straight to Texas because of the no income tax thing. And we got to find
Hmm.
a reason to have these folks come to Oklahoma, open up shop.
Hmm.
I want to see more high tech companies coming here, not just something from the UAE making ammunition in eastern Oklahoma.
Yeah, no, you hit it around the head, man. But also, it's not fair. 832 is not fair for the young employees, the one who are coming to the workforce. you know, when you come in and you don't have anything in your resume and
Mm-hmm.
you're trying to get that first job, good luck. You know, a computer's going to take your job, and now you got to figure out what
AI.
to do now.
AI will take your job.
Hmm. Yeah, so
Okay.
that's the scarcity we're looking at. Yeah, yeah.
Well, we're nearing the 30
Oh.
minute mark, and last words, bro.
Ooh, hey, I was gonna say we do Oklahoma County Miles Davidson, he's resigning. So he put his 2 weeks notice. This is gonna be interesting to me because it impacts Oklahoma County, Edmond area. And that race is gonna be a fun one because they're gonna be a good amount of people who are gonna run for that one, and I'm excited for that one. Last words, say no to 832. Help each other, take care of each other, help your neighbor. Pet a cat at the end of the day.
Pet a cat. Why?
Hey, man, sometimes you just gotta decompress, and you see that animal in front of you, you just gotta pet it and just, it's okay. Life is good. You can't complain.
I agree. And until next time, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and keep this country moving in the right direction. Thanks for spending time with us today, um, Miss Carrier. But we need to stay informed, stay hopeful, and never forget what makes this country worth fighting for. That's what people forget, and sometimes we have to remind each other and our families and friends that this country is worth fighting for. And
Mhm.
you can get along, have a great conversation, even if you're opposite of what we believe. But when they shut down conversation and they ignore you because of who you are, that really does nothing for us. And that's something that destroys the fabric and the continuity of what it means to become an American. Good night.
Mhm.
God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.
Take care, bro.
You too.